Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon to some people. This is I, Mustafa Shahid, and on the call I have Cohen Powell, and welcome to another session by OPM Tools called the Tuesday Workshop Series. This series on this quarter of 2025, which is the fourth quarter and the fourth and final quarter, we are talking about auditing your account, auditing your OPM account so you can understand what worked for you, what didn't work for you, what your strategy for 2026 is, and what you need to do before 2026 so that when you enter the new year, you're completely prepped about it. So you have all your things handy and you can start focusing on the things that you need to do instead of trying to set things up and trying to make the changes and just getting baffled by, oh, I wish I would have done this before. So all the things like that, this is where we cover it within the audit. When you have the entire year's data to look at and see what worked for me, and specifically what we are referring to today is your text and your email campaigns, and basically learning from your data. All right. So within OPM tools, if you go into the sidebar on the left, you'll find the marketing tab. Click on that and it will open up the social planner by default, but instead you have to go to the emails one. When you're on the emails, it will open up your statistics. Now within statistics, you can click over here and select the last 90 days, just to give you a rough idea of how many emails you've sent, how many were bounced, unsubscribed, open rate, your click rate, and what worked, what didn't work based on the top five performing emails. You can show it in numbers, or I can go by click rate as well. And these are internal notifications, but over here we can select which campaign we are referring to. So for example, if you go to email campaigns, we can check that 36,000 were sent, how many were delivered, what the open rate and the click rate was. The most recent emails will show over here to show the statistics in numbers. Yep, and there you have. So when you have all this data in front of you, the first question is, what do I do with the data? This is where you go into each email and see what was working out. If an email has a high open rate, it means multiple factors, but the main factor would be that the subject line of this email worked. So the people actually open the email. And if the click rate is high, it's because the more people open the email, the more people read it, the more people click on it. So when you have gathered all of this data based on every newsletter or every email campaign that you have sent out from your system, the next thing that you need to do is go into the templates. The templates is where we create the campaigns based on the templates that we have. So over here, as you can see, that we had one for each January, February, March, April, May, June, and so on and so forth. And we had other folders as well. This is where you go and you check what was working out, what did not work out, the things that you need to save, the things that you need to delete. And once all of that has been completed, so for example, January 1, January 2, which is January, so you can go into those and change out the things that did not work based on the data that you have and basically clean your stuff. Why? Because when you're actually in the first quarter or the second quarter of every year, you have this rush where you're trying to just get stuff done and you don't have enough time exactly to go back and change out things or delete things. So you just do with what you have at that moment. So take this time to take a step back, assess where you currently stand, what worked for you, what was your high notes, what were your low notes, so that you can work upon what is that you're supposed to do moving forward. So this is what we'll be doing after this meeting as well. We'll be going into these templates, checking out how did they perform, and if they perform well, then we are going to have a meeting within ourselves, like between ourselves, and have a discussion about why do you think that it worked. If it has a high open rate, then the subject line worked perfectly. For the people that we did send it out to, what kind of people were they and what data can we get from that so that we can understand that those are the type of people that we need to gather more so that we get a higher open rate and a click rate. And based on the click rate, did they actually book a meeting? Because our CTA is that you schedule a meeting with us. If they did they show up? And so on and so forth. The entire chain would continue. So this is one of the things that we'll be working on, which is the email marketing templates. This is something that we wanted to bring to your attention as well, that you can also take this time to go into the system and learn or basically assess where you currently stand and prepare your plan for the next year. At least have like a monthly email as a newsletter for all the 12 months for 2026. The same thing would apply for the next one, which is snippets, which I've already opened up here, the second tab. So within snippets, as you can see, it will open up all the snippets, but we like to do it folder by folder. It's more easier for us. And then again, if you don't use folders, this is the time that you should start using folders as well. So create folders for each different campaign or for each different type of snippets that you have. So for example, for the collection agencies or the credit unions or the nonprofits, we have different kinds of snippets for the staff in webinar, Zumba, and so on and so forth. Well, by so on, I mean affiliate campaign. Over here, this would be where you go in, you check if all of these are updated, if you need to change out the verbiage of anything, if you want to change out the text, if you want to attach something or not, this would be a good time to do it. And then again, for the people who use these snippets, ask them as well, because they would be more probably more likely to be your team members who use the system as well. Where do you use these? That's the question that people mostly have, is when you go into the conversation and you've received a reply or an email or a text from someone. For example, if we scroll down to the first person or the second person, let's say over here. So over here within the SMS, if it opens up, I can click on more, or I can go over here, or I can go over here, where I can insert a snippet. And over here within a snippet, I can select all snippets of webinar. I can click on all snippets and it will show me all the different text snippets that I have. Now, based on the most frequently happening, which is the same word though, but the more frequently happening text that you're getting, most of the time, you can convert the responses into a snippet. So when people are actually responding back using the system, they can just click on the snippet and it will auto populate over here. The same applies on the email. So if I click on email over here, I can go ahead and insert a snippet directly for whichever type of email I'm trying to respond to. If it's a staffing one, I can choose which one I want. So this is the time that you go into the snippets and change out again all the communication channels that you're using, so that you have all your messaging consistent and you have it all ready beforehand. Because at the time when it's needed, typing it all down, even if it's a couple of lines, typing it all down is a little bit frustrating, and everyone has that wish. I wish I had all this copied out somewhere else and I has just had to copy it and paste it over here. It saves a few seconds, but a few seconds multiplied by, let's say, 10 times per day, multiplied by month and year, you understand it. It becomes a lot of time. So that's another thing. Lastly, again, what I'm about to show you, it might not be something that's too important, but again, since it's an asset within your system, it might be a good thing that you go into here and you can look into if you want to change this out as well. So on the on the left sidebar, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find the reputation. Click on that. It will show you the overview. And what the overview tells is how many requests that you've got, what the sentiment is, what the invite goals, how many have been sent out, what your ratings are, and so on and so forth. You can also do a competitor analysis so you can prepare a strategy for next year. Apart from that, what I'm trying to show you is the widgets. This is something that you will be creating for your, it could be your landing pages, it could be your emails, either way, wherever you want to use it. Or by landing pages, it could be your website, your funnels, or whatever you seem fit, or whatever you deem fit. So within over here, you have like templates, different ones, and it wouldn't affect so much, but it might give you a fresh look as if your website recently just got updated by the people who visit your website often. So you can choose a different template for now. So yeah, that would cover everything that we are trying to tell you about today, which is to go into the system, take a step back, and then what we're telling you today is to take a step back into this quarter, the fourth quarter of the year, and assess where you currently stand, what worked out throughout this year for you, what didn't work out for you regarding your emails and your snippets. And you can ask your team about it to get some feedback from them, or you can look at the campaigns themselves to see which had a higher open rate and a click rate or reply rate, for example. And then based off on that, you can mimic the things or the assets which were working, and you can discard the assets which were not working so that no one even accidentally uses those. So yeah, that would be the topic for today. That is something that we wanted to share with you guys. And moving on to the final month of this year. Let us just tell you what we have for you in store. So for the December's first week, we'll be going over something that's really, really important for everyone. It's the payment templates, documents and contract templates, products and coupons, and we can even add the gift cards. In the second week, we'll be going over pipelines, the dashboard, the smart list, and the contacts. This is mm, the heart of your operations. In the third week, we are going to do a complete audit of the system. And in the fourth and final week of 2025, we are going to talk about what we expect out of 2026 and how we have planned for it and how we will be going forward with it. And we hope that you will be all be doing the same. That covers today's workshops.